Today, I have a returning guest who I have literally been looking forward to having back on the show since the day we recorded our first episode. The amazing Jennifer Dent Brown is the host of Stop Dieting Forever. And if you have not listened to episode 49, please go back and do yourself a favor and go listen to it, because today's episode is going to make a whole lot more sense with that context. But if you haven't, you're going to get a ton of value from today, because Jennifer is about to share all the amazingness that she is and what she's learned. Jennifer, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me back, Leah. Appreciate you.
Of course. Yes, anytime. I just love talking with you in general. It's so much fun. Let's start here. I would love to know what happened after our recording, because you were implementing literally as we were recording.
I was like, wait, what do I say? How do I word that? Like, I was in it to win it.
I love it. I would love to hear what you saw, if you saw anything immediately, if it was a couple weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, what were you seeing?
I did see that immediate jump up. In my downloads, I was shocked. I don't remember the exact percentage, but I can see the up.
Yep.
in the graph in my head. And I remember I emailed you and I was oh my God, did I send you a screenshot?
You did.
I was like, what happened? It was tripled, quadrupled the number of downloads.
Yeah.
Which just made me really excited. I mean, I was at, episode 250 or so when we spoke, and I'd been recording podcasts since 2020.
Yeah.
Every single week. So, and my numbers had been pretty much the same. With actually a decline. So when I spoke with you and I saw that, I was like, oh my God, there's new people listening. There's more people listening. I got really excited, and it just reinvigorated my want and desire for the podcast.
I love that. And I had to go back and look, because my memory is not what it once was.
I know. Same here. I was like, I can see the picture. I remember the feeling and how excited I was, but can I give you the exact number?
Right. Well, the feelings, that matters. That matters. But I did go back and look, and it was 56% in the 14 days.
That was amazing.
And I want people to really sit with that for a second, because we're not talking about a year-long strategy, right?
Mm.
We're talking about very specific targeted tweaks that you made and how your podcast is positioned to be found and what that can do. So you said your reaction when you started to see those numbers go up was excited. It reinvigorated your passion for your podcast. So when you looked at your analytics during that stretch and even afterwards, and you started to see all of that, do you remember what the data looked like? You said you were seeing new listeners, you were seeing the downloads go up. Anything specifically that stood out to you after that?
I mean, that was the most important thing, right? To see
Leah, is there anything else?
Yeah, I mean, to see the number of downloads going up, that was the most important thing. And the crazy thing is, Leah, you gave me so many good tips and so many things to implement. I didn't even implement all of them immediately. I just did the handful that I could do right on the call, and then a few of them afterwards. But I didn't do all of the things that you told me to do.
I love it. So probably the ones that you did on the call, the big ones were the SEO pieces.
Mm-hmm. That was huge.
The ones after were probably the same ones?
Yeah. The SEO, the description.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while. I did update my photo on the image.
Yeah. Love it.
My title in the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Telling people what I do earlier in the podcast is another one that you told me to do.
Yes.
And then also the promotion. So that was the promotion time period. That one was a little bit harder to stick to every single week. But I did for the first couple of weeks. I was carousel, short, static post. I was on it.
You are on it. That's so awesome. And that's what I want everyone to hear, because I think that so many podcasters are looking at their numbers, not knowing what they're even measuring a lot of times. I know I've been there, guilty. And I feel like when you know what you're looking at, the data can tell you a different story.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to go back to the day that we recorded. Like you've said, you were live, you were in Podbean, you're making the changes while we were talking, which I just love so much. It was my favorite moment. Walk me through what you first implemented. You said we first implemented the name of the podcast. We added that tagline.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember of all the things I gave you, because we walked through several, the name, your author field, keywords, and the description.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember of those three, why you would have changed your podcast name first? Like, was there something that resonated with you more about that than anything else?
Well, what you told me was that fat loss was more searchable than weight loss.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, we'll change it. We'll change it to fat loss for women over 40. And I think I added on the over 40 piece too.
Yep, it's true. The fat loss piece. So, like, people who are searching for fat loss are more ready to spend money for help for fat loss versus when people are searching for weight loss, they're more or less looking for like tips and tricks and
So
checklists
interesting.
and downloads. Yeah, it is very interesting. So, with that shift of
Mm-hmm.
adding that tagline of fat loss for women over 40, and I think that's probably one of the biggest recommendations, and you did change it right away. Do you think that anything shifted for you right after that? Did anybody reach out and say anything? Did you notice anything shift other than the downloads? I mean, not that I'm discrediting the downloads because those are important. I'm just wondering if your audience said anything.
So that's something I have to work on is audience engagement
Yeah.
and asking my audience, like, send me a DM, let me know what you think. In fact, we just implemented a feedback form that is now in my show notes. So I was like, if you have any feedback about this podcast, it goes to an Airtable form, and then we get a Slack notification if somebody drops us a note.
Love that you did that. That's one of the best ways to communicate with your audience too.
Mm-hmm.
That or like implement a speak pipe. You can do that too. They can leave you
Oh,
like
yeah.
a voice memo. That's a really great option. So we also talked about your author field, which is you have your name, but then we also put your title in there so people know like what you do. That is also searchable, right? So then having those keywords in there helps immensely. It's like episode
Mm-hmm.
level keywords. And then updating your show description to include the kinds of questions that your audience is Googling at like midnight when they're not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, perimenopause. Which of those felt like the most doable to you? And which one of those do you think took the most time for you to figure out?
No, it's interesting. I think it was looking for what my potential clients are looking for,
Yeah.
Googling. Because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been talking about losing weight since 1865. Like, I feel like I've said everything there is to say
Right.
about it. And it just is a reminder of like, people don't know the basics.
So
Like,
true.
I'm up here, like my amount of knowledge that I have amassed and as many hundreds of clients that I have coached and all of the things, like I always want to go like advanced, like let's talk about this.
Yes.
And it's like, how do I stop eating after 9 o'clock? Right? It's just a reminder of like, people don't know the basics. So it brought me back down again to thinking really, really basic. Like, what are my people looking for? Like this week's podcast that I just recorded was about when the math isn't mathing, right?
I
When
love
you're
it.
trying to do calories in, calories out, calorie expenditure. I burn this many calories, I'm eating this many calories, but I haven't losing any weight. Like, why is that happening? And then I was
I
like, have
love
I
that.
talked about this before? And I'm going back through all my episode titles, and I was like, not in this way. So just reconnecting with what people are searching for, keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple. And I would tell you, I had this conversation yesterday with a coaching client that you can say the same thing literally week after week if you wanted to. I
Mhm.
just did a test in February for this exact thing because I wanted to test this theory.
Mhm.
Would you still get downloads if you talked about literally the same exact thing for every single episode and still have downloads? I talked about the same topic, maybe not the same exact way in each episode, but it was the same topic for all 4 episodes, and it was my highest download month to date. Because people don't know what they don't know.
You're right. And they need to hear it again.
If it's a hot topic, Like for you, Ozempic is a hot topic. Low progesterone, anything with perimenopause, menopause, all of that is a hot topic. You could literally talk about that for weeks and people would never get tired of it.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I love that you did that experiment.
Yeah, because I was like, I want to test something because new people are finding you. Just because you have regular listeners doesn't mean they heard last week's episode or they're going to go back and listen to last week's episode. Even though we hope that they do, that doesn't always mean that they will. So yes, it was a great experiment. I'm glad I did it. There will be episodes forthcoming at some point in time if it hasn't already aired about that. So
I'm going to do the same experiment.
Please, and let me know your findings.
Go back and re-record some of the old stuff that I did. I'll change the title, right? Update the title, but maybe just re-record something that I've already written.
And test it out and let me know.
Okay. I am.
Yes.
That's going to save me some time too.
Because it was very interesting.
Did you pick were they high download episodes or content or you just pick random?
It was a popular topic because it was podcast SEO.
Oh, yeah.
So I talked about different things about podcast SEO, like portions of my framework. So you could probably take a piece of your framework and talk about literally 4 parts of it, the same part in a month.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. It was very eye-opening for me because people try to spew, oh, you got to have new content every week, every month.
And you don't.
Well, I have data that says otherwise.
That is so refreshing.
Yes. So please don't try to reinvent the wheel every single week when you don't have to. Just know that. But yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that.
And I also too think that sometimes, maybe you could say this too, that when we coach people through changes, it can also feel like a lot at once, right? Whether that's weight loss or podcast changes or whatever. But the reality is that these 5 minutes here and these fixes there, they take just a little more thought, a little more time. But the key is just to start.
Yeah.
Right? So the SEO and the metadata side of things, that's the technical. You changed it and then the algorithm does its thing. But we also talked about something that's a little more personal, which is asking people to work with you more consistently inside your episodes. That part is not just like a settings change, even though we all wish it was. That's more of like a mind shift change that we have to do. How did that land for you when I asked you to do that? And what has transpired since then?
Like the one piece of advice, that's the one that sticks in my head. Like Leah said, tell people how they can work with you earlier in the episode. She's like, keep telling people. She's like, don't wait until the end.
Right.
And so I've tried different things. I've tried doing it up front. Right now, I'm doing these little commercials in the middle of my podcast episode where I just say, hey, answering the question I get all the time, how do you work with me? And these are the 2 ways that you work with me. But when you pointed that out to me, I was kind of like, oh, I was like, I'm not telling people how they can work with me. It was to me, because I've been working on my low self-worth thoughts and my low self-worth mindset. I was like, that's so interesting that I have not been sharing enough how people can work with me or waiting until well, if you listen this long, then maybe you might be thinking about working with me.
Right.
It was eye-opening. So I'm grateful that you pointed that out to me.
And I love that you started, that you recognized and then you put it into action and that you were able to feel the difference and that you've seen it working for you. Have you been able to see people shuffle in through those call to action changes for you?
Yeah, I've been getting more consults.
Good.
So then I had to go through the qualifying piece.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, these people are not qualified. So I had to update my consultation booking form and things like that. So that's the filter.
Okay,
so it's kind of slowed things down. But the people who are coming through are much more qualified.
Good.
Oh, I turned my Friday newsletter into a complement of the episode.
Yes.
So I got that from somebody on Threads. And she said she creates her complimentary newsletter, goes with the episode for the week. And I was like, oh, that's such a great idea. So I took that idea and ran with it. So the podcast is called Stop Dieting Forever. It comes out on Wednesdays. And on Fridays, we have Stop Dieting Forever Friday.
I love it.
So I'm just getting in the groove of promoting the newsletter while promoting the podcast. It gives people 2 entry points.
Yep.
Listen to the podcast. Oh, also get on my email list if you want to go deeper. So that also qualifies people to get on my email list. And I'm not just like collecting random emails.
I love it. And you're giving people too, like 2 low barrier entry points to you that they don't, it's not like a super huge ask. There are 2 entry points where the podcast they can listen, the email they can read your wisdom, and they're like, oh my goodness, she's amazing. And you're giving them ways to get to know you because audio is so personal. And then like reading your emails is like another layer of the being personal with you. To be able to work with you is just another layer. And I love that so much. I may have to steal that and also implement that. So thank you for sharing that. I have enjoyed reading those. They're so good. And that's really like the full picture too, right? Because it's like discoverability is getting them to the show. And then what you're doing inside the episode is converting them either to your email list, to a client, to fill out the form, to have a conversation with you. And like you need all of that, right? And it's like we're already doing the content piece really well. And then adding in that layer of strategy is what really made the difference. Yeah. So good. So we talked about the content planning before we wrapped up. And you were talking about your January series that you had in mind and the holiday workshop you were thinking about turning into a podcast series. I'm curious to know how that played out. Did you end up running your eat, drink, and stay the same size? And if you did, how did you structure it?
First of all, I love content series. I think it's the best thing because you can just pick a topic and just go deep for 4 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever you decide, and just see who likes it. And I did the Eat, Drink, and Stay the Same Size workshop over the holidays. It was a bonus. So if somebody became a new client, whether they joined my group or private coaching, I did that workshop for my clients only. So it was an internal bonus. And that was something that they get if they joined before December 18th or whatever the date was.
And then the January series, I think you had a 4-week plan in mind. Did that come together pretty well?
I did the email. I did the email content series. It was called Executive Energy.
Love it.
And I do remember, I was like, I didn't give myself enough time to also do the podcast. I was like, I wrote the emails and I was like marketing the emails. I was like, podcasts, we got to kind of wing that one. But yeah, that went well.
Good.
I like doing the content series.
And I love that approach because it's like you're taking the content, you've already built it out, like the workshop. And then like even too, if you wanted to, you could repurpose all of that into like something different, into another series, or even use it to the next year. And it's like one of my favorite strategies because you're not just starting from zero each time. Yeah. Right. And then the intel that you have from that year is something you already have that you can keep rebuilding and compounding on each and every year. You're just like kind of reorganizing it into maybe a different format if you wanted. Yeah. So good. So you're already a top 2.5% of podcasts globally. So congratulate you on that.
It's amazing.
Clap, clap, clap. I love it. And you were doing a lot of things right, and you still are. And there's always room, I think, for any one of us to grow. What would you say to the podcaster who's been at it for a while and they feel like they're doing all the right things, but maybe they can't figure out why their growth has stalled?
I would say do a better job at connecting with your community.
Yes.
Because podcasting is very lonely. It's like you get on the mic and you're talking to the mic. You're like looking at a screen. You don't get any feedback. Like on social media, you get a like or, something. You can at least see, oh, I had so many views of this reel. But podcasting is kind of like just going out there into the ether. You're just depending on downloads. So as many connection points as in creating a community. So I thought about creating like a free podcast community. And I was like, no, I'd rather have people just come to my Instagram. Like that will be my community home where I talk. And now I'm on Threads too, which you probably already knew this, but you can put your podcast in your profile. And so I was like, oh, this is where I need to be talking about my podcast every single week on Threads. And that's a great place to build a community because people who don't want to hear from you don't see your they don't see your stuff. Right. You're not part of their algorithm. So that's create a community. Then you feel like you're doing it for somebody. You're doing it for, for a bigger reason.
And two, on Threads, did you know you can actually have DM communities on Threads?
No.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
You can build a community out in the DMs on Threads.
No.
It's pretty amazing.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. I guess it's similar to maybe channels or whatever they're called on
Instagram.
Is it Instagram? Yeah. It's similar to what it is on Threads. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love it. And I love that you answered it that way because it's just perfect. I think the reason why this all works is because it's not necessarily ever about doing the more. I don't ever want to preach to people to do more. It's always about making sure that what you're doing is findable. And that's the whole point of my attraction phase of my seamless framework, is because you can have the best content in the world, but if it is not being found by the right people, it's not doing its job, and nor can it do its job.
Yeah.
So, Jennifer, before I let you go, I would love for you to tell people where they can find you, because I know that they're going to be wanting to work with you and follow you and connect with you and all the things.
Well, you can definitely find me my podcast
Yes,
on all of the
go
platforms.
Listen.
I'm all over the interwebs. Stop Dieting Forever is the name of the podcast with Jennifer Dent Brown. You can find me at jenniferdent.com and Jennifer Dent Brown on Instagram. That's places to reach me.
I love it. And I will have all of her links down in the show notes below. So go follow her, go listen, and honestly, just go experience what it's like when a podcaster is doing the work. And Jennifer, thank you so much for coming back and being so open about what changed and what it meant for your show. I love being able to share real results on this podcast. It means everything.
Yay. Thank you so much, Leah.
Well, thank you so much.